Hey everyone, I'm Mario Goichai, chef and owner of Mr. G's Chop House in Shelby Township, located on Van Dyke between 25 and 26 Mile on the west side of the road. Today on Cooking with Mario, we're going to be making a shrimp scampi with linguine for the adults, and we're not going to forget about the kids. We're going to make them some pasta with butter the right way. So we're doing some pasta today, right? I got to take care of my kids. So for them, I'm going to show you guys how I do butter noodles, pasta with butter. Super simple, but there's a little tiny trick to it. If you don't do it right, you don't do it right. If you do it right, it tastes really good. We're also for the adults now, so we're gonna make a shrimp scampi, and we're gonna toss that with a little bit of linguine noodles here. We're gonna get right away, so we already did a little bit of prep work. We have a couple pots here with boiling water, okay? I like to add a little bit of salt to the water, give it a little bit of flavor. You're gonna flavor your noodles essentially, okay? A little bit there, a little bit over here. So the small pots for the kids, I have this little rigatoni pasta. Nice, they can't choke on it like the long ones. We're gonna drop this in, takes about 10 minutes to cook. While this is cooking, we're gonna get the whole entire dinner ready for the whole family. So here we go. That's going in. Next. This is kind of a rule of thumb that I use for an adult portion of pasta. So I typically take this and I look at the circumference. It should be about the size of a quarter. If you're doing it for a kid, it should be like the size of a dime. So if you ever think about, how much portion size do I need or how much pasta should I put in for X amount of people, kind of use that as a rule of thumb, okay? So we're putting that straight in. Now you don't want your pasta to stick. The water's boiling, it's moving, but it can kind of just like lay there, and then because of the starch, it'll all just stick together and clump together. So after you drop your pasta in, it's always a good idea to give it a mix, so we're gonna do that now, okay? You want the water to be a nice rolling boil, so you'll leave it on high, okay? Do the same thing over here. Give this a mix, make sure they're not sticking, okay? Now, while that's working, we're gonna make shrimp scampi. Traditional, olive oil, garlic, white wine, reduced down. Okay, easy. So here we go. Start with some olive oil. I like to go heavy on this because the pasta is going to absorb some of the sauce. Okay, so nice hot pan. We already had it preheated. I'm going to give it a couple seconds here just to make sure it's hot. I do want to get sort of a sear on the shrimp. A little tiny bit of color. Kind of gives it a little bit better texture. But we don't want to overcook them. So this is a fast process, okay? So we're dropping our shrimp in. You can hear that sizzle. All right, they're gonna be cooking right away. So from here, we're gonna put a little bit of garlic, okay? And we're gonna flip our shrimp. Super quick process here. And now we're gonna add the white wine and let it reduce. So oil, shrimp, garlic, cook it, add the white wine. It's gonna reduce down a little bit, I would say about halfway. You wanna cook the alcohol out of there. You don't want the alcohol flavor in your food when you're cooking. You can hear that nice sizzle there. We're gonna let that reduce down. So, like I said before, the shrimp cook really fast. We don't want them to overcook. So I'm just gonna pull them out. And we're gonna pop them in right before we finish the dish, okay? I just don't like when a shrimp gets overcooked. Instead of having its nice kind of natural beautiful size, it'll get shrunk and it'll be rubbery, and you'll kind of feel it when you're eating it. I'd rather have it nice and plump and have a nice bite to it, okay? So, we probably have about 6 minutes left on the kids' pasta. We probably have about the same, I would say, on the adults' pasta, the linguine. So that's reducing down. What we're gonna do now, I just like to give a little bit of brightness to the dish. You don't have to add tomato, but we have a little bit of chopped tomato here that we're gonna add. I like when my plates are colorful. I'm gonna hit it with some nice fresh chopped parsley. Also gives it a really good, just kind of a fresh, really nice herby flavor to it. We're gonna squeeze in some lemon, okay? I would say per person, you're talking about, you know, maybe like a nice tablespoon of lemon juice in there. That's reducing down really nice. The green from the parsley, the already creamy looking sauce with the olive oil, the garlic in there, the tomato gives it that beautiful pop. This is gonna be a really good dish. I'm excited for this one. Okay, reducing that down. We're gonna add a little bit of butter. We're gonna bring our pasta out, put it in there, and it's gonna all get tossed together, and then we're gonna reincorporate these shrimp. So let's just do a quick check on our pasta. Very, very close. I can tell it's still a little firm, but here's a quick test. You can see this is kind of just dangling there. If it was way undercooked, it'd probably be a lot more firm and kind of like, you know, sticking up a little bit more, but taste it. It's still got a tiny bit of crunch to it. I do like when it's a little bit firm because that way you know it's al dente and it kind of has that to the tooth, kind of like to the, you know, a little bit of firm texture to it. You can kind of feel that it's there versus when you overcook it, it just kind of tastes like mush. That's really good, really close. I'm gonna finish the dish now. Super easy dish. I mean, a couple minutes, you got dinner for the whole fam. All right? So that sauce is looking perfect to me. It's reducing down. We're gonna take our pasta. Now the pasta is not 100% cooked, like I said. It's almost there, but it's gonna finish cooking in this sauce. By the time you pull it out of the sauce, this thing's gonna be perfect. I haven't seasoned yet. I'm gonna save that for last. Salt and pepper, a little bit of chili flake. All right, so look at this. Got that pasta in there, right? You can already see, because of the starch from the pasta, that the sauce is almost getting a creaminess to it, and we haven't even added our butter yet. So this is essentially creating a little starchy sauce in there. Now we're gonna add this butter. So a nice fat tablespoon of butter, okay? Little tiny bit of chili flake. Just for a little pop. We're gonna season now. And we're gonna taste. Salt, pepper. Where's my tasting spoon? We'll use the fork here. All right. So what happens is, with the pasta, like I said, it's gonna be a little bit absorbent. It's got that starch, it's thickening up the sauce. If you start losing your sauce because of that, you're gonna use a little bit of this pasta water and you're gonna put it into the pan. That's fantastic. Needs a little bit more salt. This dish does have quite a bit of acid because of the white wine and the lemon. So salt kind of helps tone that down. So will the butter, okay? I mean, you're tossing it, you can see how the noodles are nicely coated. That's one of the most important things, in my opinion, is that you want your noodles to be coated. You don't want the sauce down at the bottom of the plate. You want it kind of stuck nice to that pasta. So what I do, I just use my spoon over here with the pasta water, and I'll just add a couple spoons of that pasta water that have that pasta starch in it, okay? Just to kind of bring that back to life. You can still see, you can see visually that the noodles are not overcooked. They still have a little bit of firmness to it, which is perfect. So now that looks great to me. Now I'm gonna add these shrimp in here, right? I would say they're about 90% cooked. So we're just gonna finish cooking them, and as soon as the shrimp are fully cooked, I'll give you a little example here. So if you wanna make sure that your shrimp are cooked, this still has a little bit of that fresh shrimp kind of color to it in the middle where it's a little bit gray. You want your shrimp to be completely white throughout. As soon as it hits that though, you wanna pull it off the heat because then it'll start overcooking, okay? So, now this is looking amazing. What I'm gonna do, we're gonna take a little bit of spinach here. We're gonna do a chiffonade. So what you do is you just take, I like the spinach for some texture, for some flavor, and again, I just love green color. Gives it a nice pop on your dish and just makes it a little bit more visually attractive. Okay, I can hear this reducing, so I'm just gonna kick that flame off. Okay, I'm gonna take my spinach, I'm gonna roll it up. I just layered the leaves and rolled it. Okay, take your knife, you're just gonna do some nice slices here. A lot of people do this with basil in certain dishes, but here we're chiffonading some spinach just to give a little bit of more body and depth to this dish. Okay, super nice and bright. Now we're gonna start plating. All right. Man, that was fast. This should be made more often. Here we go. So I like to grab my pasta and just give it a little twist so I can build a nice mound. Whenever I plate, I'm pretty particular. I like to have some nice height on my dishes. Okay. This is a pretty fat portion here. So let's organize our shrimp all around. You can see those beautifully cooked shrimp. All right. Nice color on them. Not overcooked. Really important. Okay. Now that looks good. So back to what I was saying. As you can see on the bottom of this plate, it's not sitting in a soupy sauce. All of that sauce that was in that pan that you've seen, that was quite a bit of sauce, has been either sucked up by the pasta or has kind of stuck and adhered to the pasta because of the starch, because of the butter, because we tossed it all together and used a little bit of that pasta water with the starch in it. So this dish right here is complete, ready to be served. Now we're gonna finish off the kids, right? So essentially what you do for the kids dish, you're gonna treat it the same way that you just treated your dish, which was very nicely. So, cold butter, not melted. Okay, tablespoon in there. You don't really want to melt this. You kind of want to create a pan sauce, which is just it's almost like a beurre blanc. So a traditional butter sauce. You're just making it on the spot with water and butter and salt. Okay, so we're gonna pull this pasta out. This pasta is nicely cooked now. It's been about 10 minutes. Okay, looks good. So as that butter is melting, we're gonna add our pasta in here. And the same exact rules apply. If your pan is too hot, the butter can break. So it'll separate the fat from the milk solids. It'll break your sauce. You don't want that. You want that nice creamy consistency the same way that we made the shrimp scampi dish. So we don't have our temperature very high here. And we do have some water that was already stuck to the pasta, has been introduced to the pan now. So we have our butter, a little bit of pasta, and a little bit of pasta water is in there. We're just gonna hit it with a little bit of salt, okay? I used unsalted butter, so let's season it up for the little guys. All right. Now look, that piece of butter that you guys seen earlier has slowly melted, but has not broken. The pasta water helped thicken the sauce. This is proper pasta with butter. You can make it the right way or you can make it the wrong way. You choose. Okay? My kids, they know the difference. You gotta make it right. All right. Do you see the coating on that? Like, that butter is coating every single piece of pasta, which means in every bite, you're gonna get a nice buttery flavor that's been perfectly seasoned with salt. Just gonna plate this up for them. Okay? Look at this. The adults, the kids. 10 minutes, dinner's done. Try it out at home, enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us today on Cooking with Mario, where we made a beautiful shrimp, linguine, scampi, and also a nice pasta with butter for the kids. I hope you guys try to make this at home. I hope you really enjoy it, and we'll see you next time on Cooking with Mario. Thanks again for watching today, guys. If you like what you saw today on Cooking with Mario, go ahead and follow us, the Mitt TV on YouTube. Click on the notification bell and subscribe. I hope to see you again soon on Cooking with Mario.